Hello you guys. How are you doing? I'm ready for this video. This is a video that I talk about with people a lot, but I've never talked about it with my YouTube fam. So let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Kenya of Power in Your Curl, and if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so that you can see more videos from me in the future. And if you are a part of the family already, go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you know when I upload, because YouTube won't let you know until you click that button. So I know it's annoying, but just go ahead and click that notification bell. I am very excited to talk to you guys today because this is a video that I feel like so many people need to hear, but there's only so many people who are going to tell you. And like I said at the beginning, I talk to this topic all the time, and women that I meet, when I really get to understand why women feel like their hair isn't growing, why they feel like they've been stagnant, and like they don't really know what the problem is. I talk to a lot of women about this, so I'm excited to share it with you all because it's super duper important, and you don't know what you don't know. And so often you can stay stuck simply because you don't know that you're missing something. Grab something to eat, grab some tea. I got my tea here and let's get into this video. So the first reason why you feel like your hair isn't growing is simply because you don't understand how hair growth works. Now, I know that a lot of people like to say, like, what can I do to make my hair grow? How can I make my hair grow? And the thing is, hair growth is not something that you need to worry about. Your hair is always growing. So our hair goes through 4 stages. There's the growing phase, the transitioning phase, the resting phase, and then the shedding phase. But 95% of the hair on your head is in the growing stage. So unless you have a hormonal imbalance or you have a disease that's causing your body to not function normally, your hair is growing. So the question is never, what do I do to make my hair grow? The question is, what are you doing that's causing your hair to break off at the same rate that your hair is growing? That is almost always the question that you need to be asking, not what can I do to make my hair grow? So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you all who are in relatively good health. You don't have any issues that will be causing your hair to not grow. And I'm going to talk to you about what you're doing that's causing your hair to actually break off and make it seem like your hair isn't growing. Hair grows 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch every single month. So that means that every month your hair is getting longer. At this very second, your hair is growing. Slowly but surely, it's growing. And it's your job to retain the length that you have from your scalp by retaining and maintaining your ends. So your hair does not grow from the ends, it only grows from your scalp. And once a hair strand leaves your scalp, it's now dead. It's dead protein. There's nothing that you can do to revive this hair. So it's super important that you're very gentle and that you take really good hair and that you take really good care of your hair, because once you damage it, there's no way to resurrect it. You have to just cut it off. Now, the second thing that you may be doing that's causing your hair to not grow is you feel that it's not possible for you to have long hair. And this is very, very common. In fact, I went through this as well. When I was relaxed, my hair was at shoulder length for 5 years. And because of that, I always felt like this is just how it has to be. Like, that's all I saw. So I thought that that was all that was possible. And then I started seeing women who were natural. And at the time, I didn't even know I had curly hair. And they had long, beautiful hair. And I was like, whoa, it's possible to have something other than shoulder length hair. And that's when I got into like learning about hair care. This was back in 2008, I believe. And it was like mind blowing to me that Black people could have long hair. And then as I went through my journey, I decided to go natural, and I went natural in February of 2010 after transitioning for 11 months. And secretly my goal was to have butt length hair. But I never told anybody that because nobody around me had that length of hair. But I saw people who had length, so I figured it must be possible somehow. I just need to figure it out. And because a lot of the women in our life don't understand their hair, we think that we can't have long hair too. And I really want you guys to know long hair is possible no matter what your hair identity is. It doesn't matter if you have kinky hair, coily hair, fine hair, thick strands, it does not matter. You can have long hair because, like I said, your hair is always growing. It's just a matter of learning your hair so that you can retain as much length as possible. And I know that that's really hard for us to wrap our minds around, so I want to give you guys some examples. My hair did end up hitting tailbone length, and then it really flourished past that to the point where the longest that my hair has ever been is halfway down my butt. Now, I don't have any pictures to show you guys of that because all of my pictures are like in the shower. But my hair has grown to halfway down my butt, and it could have kept growing if I didn't cut it back in November. And another example that I want to show you guys is the Umbalantu tribe in Namibia. Now, this is a tribe of women where hair care is taken very seriously. It's also a way to identify a woman's status and just, you know, her maturity as a woman. And as you can see, these women have learned how to grow their hair to the floor. These are modern day black Rapunzels. And so I want you guys to understand that even though you may not see it around you, having long hair is possible. And if you innately feel like it's not possible for you, that is largely a reason why you don't have long hair, because how you feel about your hair is how you then act towards your hair, and it's what you see in your reality. So if you think that you can't have long hair, most likely you're not even going to try to understand how to get your hair to grow longer, and you're always going to be in the cycle of truly deep down wanting long hair but thinking it's not attainable for you and never getting there because you think it's not attainable for you. So everything that you see in your physical reality has been created by your thoughts. Your thoughts are very, very powerful. Words have the power to heal or to kill, and that is prevalent in every single area of your life, even your hair. So it's really important to speak life into yourself and speak life into your hair. If you catch yourself saying, oh, I could never have that, my hair can never do that, that's not possible for me, you gotta reverse it and say, no, I can have long hair. I can have healthy hair. I have healthy hair. You can even talk about it as if it's already happened, so that you can really start to reprogram your mind, and your actions will follow, and then your physical reality will match everything that you think about yourself. So within as without. So you really have to start with your mindset first. The next reason why your hair isn't growing, and I'm going to stop saying that and I'm going to start saying why you're not retaining length, because that's truly what the issue is. Your hair is growing, you're just not retaining the hair that you're growing. So the next reason why you're not retaining length is because you don't know your hair. You cannot have a solid regimen or buy products that work for you when you don't even understand what your hair identity is. And your hair identity is bigger than your curl pattern. I have a video on this that breaks it down, and I'm gonna link it here on the screen for you guys. But your hair identity is the 4 most important aspects of your hair strands that will teach you what you need to be focusing on when you're building your regimen. Now, I have a course, it's called Master Your Magic. It's a natural hair boot camp, essentially, where I pack my 10 years of knowledge into 6 weeks, and I sit down with you twice a week for 6 weeks straight, and I teach you everything you need to know about your specific hair identity, because it can be very difficult to wade through all the general information online and find what works directly for you. So I created that course so I could really pour into women and save you years worth of time of trying to experiment and just give you the blueprint for what works for your hair identity. So again, if you want to know your hair identity, which is your porosity, your hair strength thickness, your density, and then your curl pattern, click the link in my description box for that video and you can watch it and you can figure it out. I walk you through how to figure this out. But when you don't understand your porosity, it really becomes difficult for you to maintain moisture in your hair. And with natural hair, the number one thing that you have to be cognizant about is your moisture levels, because moisture leaves hair easily, and that's everybody's hair type, but moisture will leave your hair easily. And in order to keep your hair from breaking, your hair needs to be moist and pliable, hydrated, and moisturized. And the biggest factor into not retaining length is breakage. So if you are styling your hair at the sink or washing your hair on wash day and you notice a lot of short hairs on the floor, in the sink, in the shower, you're experiencing breakage, and this is most likely the reason why you're not retaining length, because your hair is breaking off just as fast as it's growing. And the way that you cut down on breakage is by having moisturized hair, having a balanced regimen that works for you, not what works for somebody you saw online. It needs to work for your hair type, your lifestyle, and also address any hair issues that you have. Before I knew what my porosity was, I did not understand how to keep my hair moisturized. My hair was always dry, bone dry, thirsty, parched, crackly, crispy. It was bad. And when I finally realized that I had low porosity hair, I was 4 years into my natural hair journey, and my hair it had some length to it, but it was very choppy. It was very brittle. It was in really bad health, to be honest. Like, yeah, it was in really bad health. It was long, but not healthy. I'll basically say that. And the reason why is because I was using all of these products that did not work for me, like shea butter, like olive oil. I was doing hot oil treatments, and that doesn't do anything for me. I was using shea butter to moisturize my hair, and shea butter is not a water-based product, so it's not giving you any moisture. It's sealing in moisture. But if your hair isn't moisturized to begin with, it's sealing dryness, and then it's also putting a barrier over your hair that's preventing any moisture from entering in throughout the rest of the week. I was using products that were way too thick, that weren't even penetrating into my hair. I was using a deep conditioner to deep condition, to detangle, to style. My hair was not being moisturized. That's basically what was going on. I did not understand my hair. And because of that, I had a lot of breakage. Like I said, it was long in some areas, but in most areas it was broken off. And once I learned my porosity, I was able to then start choosing products that worked for my hair type. I was able to implement techniques that worked for me, like deep conditioning with heat. That's another thing we're gonna talk about. If y'all aren't deep conditioning, you need to deep condition. Understanding your hair identity will save you years worth of trial and error and frustration and confusion and just cyclical, just not working. So if you want help with your hair identity and building a complete regimen that matches your lifestyle so you can feel confident in who you are and feel good about your hair finally, click the link in my bio, sign up for a hair consultation with me, and I will be able to give you more information about my live group coaching course, and you can start getting results with your hair. Now, the next reason why your hair isn't retaining length is because you are not being disciplined and consistent with your hair. The thing about anything is what you focus on grows. What you give attention to will flourish, and what you give attention to and then track will grow exponentially. So if you're not only giving your hair attention, but you're tracking your hair through pictures and tracking what products you're using on your hair and how your hair responds to that, your hair will be completely different within 6 months because you're being very intentional, and you'll be able to see differences in what works and what doesn't. And truly, that's how you learn your hair. Not being intentional about your hair care is holding you back. Your hair is not something that's just going to figure itself out. Like, it's not just going to come to you. You have to work at it like anything. And I understand that not everybody wants to do that, but if you don't want to put in the work or put in the time with your hair, you cannot expect it to flourish because it's just not going to fix itself. Like I said, it's something that you really have to work to understand, and many of us aren't equipped to understand our hair because so many of our grandmothers and our mothers, you know, they taught us everything there was to know about relaxed hair. Our aunties can teach us about straight hair, but this natural hair thing is new for a lot of people. Many of us are like first generation curly heads, like, you know, for the majority of our lives. So it's up to us to learn our hair so that we can teach the next generation exactly what they need to know so they don't have to struggle like we are. So a tip I'll give you guys is every single wash day when you're deep conditioning your hair, when your deep conditioner is sitting in your hair, write down exactly what you used, how your hair responded to it. You can even take a picture at various stages throughout your wash day. And then after you've collected that information over the course of about 4 to 6 weeks, you can look and see what products do your hair respond to the best. Is this working for you? Do you need to change something? And that's how you start to get results with your hair. Now, the next reason why you guys aren't retaining length is because you aren't listening to your hair. This is so important. It is very important to be tuned into what your hair likes because you don't really tell your hair what it does. You have to listen to your hair to know what she needs, and then you have to do that consistently. So to make this easier, I'll tell you guys what my hair likes. I have fine strands, low porosity hair, medium density, and then my curl pattern is like an S wave, a tight S wave, and sometimes a tight spiral curl, just depending on where I am in my head. And then I also have some loose S waves at the crown of my head. But my hair, because I have fine strands, my hair does not like hairstyles. Like my hair doesn't like to be styled into like half up, half down do's. It doesn't like pigtails, like all the stress that it takes of like maneuvering my hair and tying it in hair ties. My hair does not like that, which is why you rarely ever see me in anything other than a wash and go, twist out, cornrows, because that's what my hair likes. It flourishes when I just leave it the hell alone, essentially. And so that's what I do. Now, if I had it my way, my hair would love to be styled. I'd be rocking all types of different styles, you know, if I had it my way. But it's not up to me. It's my hair, and I have to listen to her. And the reason why I know that my hair doesn't like to be styled is because when I style my hair, I notice more breakage. I notice that my hair is drier than usual. When I start playing in my hair gets very dry. Also my hair feels weaker and more brittle, like the more stress I put on it, and that's because I have those fine strands that can be very easily damaged because the strands are so wispy. So the next reason why your hair is not retaining length is because you aren't treating the length that you have well. You really have to think of your hair as silk. Like, think of your hair in any way that's going to make you treat it gently, but I like to think of my hair as fine, beautiful, spindly silk. And if I'm too harsh with my hair or too harsh with that silk, it's going to break, and that's not going to be honoring the silk, you know? So whenever you're handling your hair, you want to be very, very gentle. You should not be handling your hair when you're upset, when you're sad, when you're frustrated with it. If that ever happens, just put the utensils down, put the comb down, get out the shower and take a break. Let yourself cool down. You only want to have gentle hands whenever you're touching your hair, because once you damage something, there's no fixing it. You just have to cut it out. Another way that you handle your hair well is by deep conditioning consistently. This is so important, you guys, so important. In order to truly moisturize your hair from the inside out, you have to deep condition. In certain porosities, low and medium porosity, you should be deep conditioning with heat to really infuse the product into your hair's cortex. Another way that you can up your hydration, like to really give your hair what it needs if it's thirsty, is you can also steam. Now, steaming is something that you don't want to do very often, just once to twice a month being like if your hair is just super like real thirsty. But steaming is also something that can help a lot with your hydration, your hair's pliability, and keep you from having breakage. And my last reason for why your hair isn't retaining length is because you are doing too much. You're listening to too many people for advice. You're following everybody's regimen or piecing together pieces of so many other people's regimen whose hair identities does not match yours, whose climate don't match yours, whose lifestyle doesn't match yours. And you're really not giving your hair a chance to get adjusted to certain regimens. You're trying different products every few weeks. You're styling your hair, and every 2 weeks you're putting a weave in, you're putting extensions in. Like, you're just doing too much, and you're not allowing yourself to step back and just listen to what your hair is saying. The thing is, like, your intuition is strong. Your intuition is all you really need. And if you allow yourself time to just listen to your hair and track what's going on and really look at what your hair is telling you, you'll be way better off than just trying to quote unquote fix your problem by taking advice from all these people. And the thing with taking advice is, whenever you take advice from somebody, you need to be taking advice from someone who has either met or exceeded the goals that you have for yourself. So if somebody else can't grow their hair, or their hair really isn't the healthiest, you don't need to be taking advice from them, because they don't truly know enough to even keep their hair healthy. And the thing that you really need to be aware of is the fact that just because somebody has a certified title like a hairstylist does not mean that they know better than you, because there are a lot of hairstylists who don't even understand how to keep their hair healthy. And that's another thing. So like, when you look at hair care programs, the certifications that stylists have to go through to get their licenses, curly hair is not a main focal point of what stylists learn while they're in school. There's a segment of time where they do learn curly hair, but for the most part, the mannequins that they practice on have straight hair. The techniques that they learned are for straight hair. And then most stylists get extra education. Some of them do, not all, get extra education on curly hair afterwards, or they just learn on the job. So the thing is, nobody is trained in curly hair, and that's why you have to trust your own intuition and really learn your hair for yourself. And then you you can kind of couple your own intuition with some other professionals who you've seen has results with that information. Yeah, you just can't be letting anybody touch your head. You can't just be getting advice from anybody. You got to be very aware of where that's coming from. And that's another reason why I created my course, because I understand that there's nowhere you can go for long-term support with your hair. So the course is 6 weeks for a reason. So you're not just kind of ambling along by yourself and just in no man's land. The thing about natural hair, right, is that we tell people that they have to just figure it out. You have to figure it out on your own. It's up to you to make it work for yourself. And there's some people who just don't learn like that. Some people learn better when they have a guide who can show them. And most of us, it's kind of like having a coach or a mentor. You'll learn quicker and learn faster when you have a teacher, as opposed to having to teach yourself calculus, you know? So that's what Master Your Magic is about. It's about helping women get what they need quickly, so you don't have to scramble and just struggle on your own. It's a new way of looking at learning about your natural hair, because you don't have to do it alone. Like, there are women who have gone before you and learned everything that they need, and now I can reach back and give you that information so you can then kind of help somebody else in need in a year's time. So yeah, you guys, be very careful where you get your information from, and don't try to piece together a regimen because you saw somebody else do it. That's not gonna work. You have to know your hair identity and then base your decisions off of your hair, nobody else's. But alrighty, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Be at peace knowing that everything you need, you already have, whether if it's starting a job, whether if it's caring for your child, buying a house, okay, wait. When it comes to buying a house, you want to reach out and learn and get some knowledge. But everything you feel that you're lacking, you already have within. You just have to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is real, y'all. It's real. It's gold. It's invaluable. So yeah, you're not lacking anything. You have everything you need. And once you start using what you have at your disposal, if you need anything else, it will naturally flow to you effortlessly by God. God will provide. Everything you need will come to you. And that's not something you need to stress about. You need to worry about doing what you're supposed to be doing with the gift that you have, and everything else will fall into place. So I love you all so much. Y'all are my fam. I'm really happy to be here as a source of support and love and information for you. And if you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next video. So go ahead and subscribe so you can get more videos like this from me in the future, and hit that notification bell. Bye, y'all.